Hi, my name is Dawn Huey. I'm a cardiac surgeon at UT Health San Antonio. And I recently had the pleasure to meet Priya, who I think is going to tell you a little bit about herself.
Hi, Dr. Hui. I'm Priya Raja. I'm a junior at Brandeis High School, and I'm planning on attending UT Austin to eventually go to medical school to become a physician.
Yes. So Priya and I met through the STEM Goes Red program, which is sponsored by the American Heart Association here in our local chapter here in San Antonio. And this program is great because it connects women who are interested in STEM or who have careers in STEM to really connect us and help us to encourage each other to pursue our passions. I actually did not know that I was going to go into medicine until a little bit later in life. My first passion and my first career was as a musician. I played classical violin, but I was always drawn to medicine because my father, who was my role model, he was a doctor, and I liked science, I liked math during high school, and it took me a little while to figure out that this is ultimately what I wanted to do, but it's been a long path, but a very, very rewarding path, and this is absolutely what I was meant to do, and I love it. So I've been really excited to share with Priya the journey, and it can be a little bit daunting at first to figure out how you're going to get to this place. But for someone who's been through it, it can help and mentor somebody through all the steps. This is a really great program. Priya, do you want to kind of recount a little bit of our first conversation?
Yes, so my mom is a registered nurse, that's how I gained interest into the medical field. But I didn't have a proper idea of where I wanted to go into until I entered high school. And I got to be a part of a lot of volunteer programs where I get to help people. Um, this is, and I knew that this is something I wanted to continue. This is something I'm extremely passionate about. And I feel that the STEM field allows me to continue helping people, and it has a broad range of opportunities and professions that can help feed new opportunities and curiosities about what I'm passionate about.
Yeah, that's great. So it seems like both Priya and I have had family members that were in the field, and even then, it's very daunting, as Priya and I talked about. Just getting to medical school, so much has changed. I was telling her that the MCAT that she's going to take, the exam that helps you get into medical school, is so different than the exam I took. But the STEM Goes Where program is great for people who don't have family members in the health field but are interested in pursuing that or any sort of STEM field. STEM is, all the aspects of STEM are really important to medicine and to especially heart health, which is a priority of the American Heart Association: science, technology, engineering, and math. So even people that pursue fields that are not directly in medicine can contribute to the cause of fighting cardiovascular disease, which is the #1 killer of men and women in this nation. Priya shared with me she's actually very advanced for her stage and her age. She's working on an essay, I think, looking at traumatic brain injury. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Priya?
Yes, I wanted to find ways or research on ways the brain rewires itself after physical and psychological trauma. And I've been looking into neuroplasticity and how in that area, trauma isn't really looked into. So I really want to explore that and write my essay on that.
That's great. And, I think one another great thing about this program is I've recently, two women, two scientists here at UT Health San Antonio who are women and funded by the AHA are in fact studying the very topic that Priya's essay is about. So I'm planning to connect all three of them and continue to expand this STEM network of women. It's a great, great initiative.
So I'm interested in the neuroscience field, and I feel um, that I want to travel and I want to help people who do not have access to immediate clinics. And I want to help people in that field, and I want to continue traveling. And I don't want to be like in a big city base. I want to like continue helping people who do not have access to medicine quickly. So, Dr. Hui, you said that you were a musician and you went down the medical field. So, so how exactly did that change for you and like how you looked out for your future and everything?
Oh, that's a good question. When I made the decision, I felt I was only, I think I was in my early 20s, and I thought, oh, I'm so old. This is crazy to make a decision, but it's very funny looking back. Now I feel younger than I did then. Life is very long, and I think having had a career that was different makes me appreciate this one that much more. Um, you know, People always ask me about the lifestyle of a woman in medicine. And when I was a musician, the lifestyle is actually pretty easy. The hours are not very long. You've a fairly flexible schedule. You can travel, but now my hours are more dedicated. They're more committed. As you and I talked about, being a physician or somebody in medicine, you have to be there. You can't, there's not very much you can do virtually. And so there's a lot more hours that are spent, at the hospital, at the bedside, talking to patients, but it's so much more rewarding. And so, another thing we talked about is if you love what you do, then you kind of don't separate work and life. Your life is your work, and if you love it, then that's a really great thing. When I was in medical school and training, I think there's been a lot of progress just in the last 5 to 10 years. I remember going to meetings when I was much younger and much earlier in my career, where I was the only woman in the room, and all the presenters were men, all the people at the podium being the panelists were men, and now it's changing. There are more and more women in both in cardiothoracic surgery and in cardiology, and that's really thanks to a lot of the leadership has recognized that, first of all, more than half of people in medical school are women. And so if you want to attract the best and the brightest and the most talented, you have to be aware of those biases and to make it, create those pathways for all people. And I think that we need to keep that momentum going, that's very intentional. I'm very fortunate, all the places that I've worked, people have been aware of this and have been intentional. And in fact, UT Health is very progressive. I'm one of 2 cardiothoracic surgery faculty that are women. And in fact, a majority of our residents in our training program right now are women. So, if we lead by example, I think that this, the gender gap in opportunities will continue to close. But, this has to start earlier in life, just like Priya is doing. You can close the gap at the end only when there are opportunities at the beginning, equal opportunities, and encouraging people who are passionate about STEM fields to pursue that early in life. If they don't think it's a possibility, they're not going to pursue it.
So during COVID, it's been really hard to find experiences and opportunities to like further expand my knowledge on the STEM field. And I feel, talking with Dr. Hui and along with other doctors through this program, like really did help me expand my knowledge and like get, further insight into how the medical field it is itself.
Yes, so it's been great to meet Priya, even though it's virtually. I feel it's so important at all stages of our life to make these connections. And the pandemic has made it more difficult to do it in person, but luckily with technology, which is part of STEM, that is possible. And as we come out of the pandemic, it's important that we continue to make these connections and to reach out for the future leaders, of our field and of our nation. So we hope that STEM Goes Red will continue to progress and evolve as time marches on. Our hope is that STEM Goes Red continues to be a very robust and vital part of the San Antonio chapter of American Heart Association. Really like to thank them for making this possible. We have talented young people that we like to reach out to, and it's really through this effort that we've been able to make these connections.